conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I think they got the asbestos abatement. The problem is they left all the other.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call the Cottage Grove Joint Fire District Commission meeting to order. It's Monday, September 22nd. It's 6:30-ish. We have a quorum, got a full house tonight. Meeting was posted properly at the town and the village. Public appearances. Do we have any public? Doesn't look like it. Next item, discuss and consider the minutes from the August 25, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve. Bear with me 1 second. I thought
Did you find something wrong or what?
What's that?
Did you find something wrong?
That was a question I had. I looked at it earlier this afternoon and I'm not seeing what I thought I saw earlier. Motion and a second to approve. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Abstain. Don't forget me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. So it's 5-0-1. Next item, chief's report.
All right, we're sitting at 39 total staff. That consists of 9 officers, 3 driver operators, 22 firefighters, 2 probationary, 1 explorer, 1 chaplain, and 1 honorary member. Currently sitting at 274 calls for service as of 9/16, averaging 1.06 calls per day. That we're continuing, we finish about 386 calls for the year. Call breakdown is 79 in the town of Cottage Grove, 39 in Pleasant Springs, 123 in the village, and 33 in mutual aid. The charts there, if you guys look at. Equipment updates, engine 3's got a check engine light on it. Related to the diesel exhaust fluid system, the DEF injection system plugged up. They're gonna come over sometime this week and fix it. They think it's gonna be under warranty, but they haven't confirmed that yet. Engine 4 has another bad door handle, which they got it fixed yesterday without actually doing any parts. It's actually just a broken spring. The annual apparatus maintenance begins next week on the 29th. Also tender 1 has a check engine light that just came on too. So they'll be looking at that while they're fixing engine 3. Training information, training for September, search and rescue at the East Main Street house that was acquired. The officers toured the Dane County Communications Center to understand the call taking process for emergency responses. And training for October will be rapid intervention teams and ventilation. The officers will also be touring the Amazon facility in October for see how that's coming along and to plan for operations. Other news, we brought on 1 new member in September. We also have 1 application in the process for an explorer. We also just got 1 more application for a new member. And we are having our open house for fire prevention on Tuesday, October 7th. Staff milestones, Angela Elmer with 4 years, Thomas Grob with 7, and Arlen Mogg with 15 years.
What does the Explorer do?
So that's someone that's still in high school. So they get to actually leave high school and go to MATC to take fire classes. And they're on as a member, so they get to see, they get to do kind of the basic stuff. They don't get to go in actually on calls, but they get to be more of a support role. And then once they graduate, they'll already have all their fire certs. So then they can join the department and have fire certs when they turn 18, and it's just another option for them to join.
I just was curious, that's all.
Chief, question again on these false alarms and stuff. What, is there a way to solve that?
So
Or some
we,
kind of ordinance or something, or?
so we did some pub ed stuff with the village, where we put out kind of some informational stuff about trying to prevent some of that. You know, a lot of it's education. And some of it's preventable, but some of it just, it kind of happens, you know? It's just the nature of the beast as communities are getting bigger, that's kind of, and more people are going to these kind of systems. It's gonna kind of happen every now and then.
Those are those ADT things.
Yeah, some of it's that. We did have one business in the village that's kind of a repeat offender right now, which we asked Village PD to actually issue a citation because they've hit their,
Used up their freebies?
yeah, they've got five instances now, so
Is there some sort of ordinance on that?
there is.
On repeat?
Yeah.
There is? Oh, there is. Oh,
Yeah.
So you get 5? Because I was noticing that some departments actually charge for repeat false alarm calls.
Yeah, so it's like, there's some discrepancy there, but repeat offenders, they actually get a citation, and then as they continue to get more, it actually escalates to be more and more. So.
So is it just the one repeat offender, or do we got others?
Right now, it's pretty much just the one repeat offender, and then the rest is kind of like these odds and ends, residential ones.
So there are all kinds of services, even they're probably private ones for just a house or something, I suppose. Huh?
Yeah, a lot of them are that.
Yeah, that's a problem. But the thing with building new houses, do they have to put in a specific kind of system so we don't go through this, or?
I mean, we kind of talked a little bit with Cameron about maybe in the future, putting that as part of the permitting process, like on the front end where they have to be more aware of it, but that was kind of in the early talks because we're just starting.
Well, all the junk by my house or on Bus Road by the school, it seems like that whole place should be improved right away so we don't have to go through that there. That's gonna be all rental, right? Or as I know,
Which one?
Heyday.
Heyday.
On,
that's the way I understand it. It's gonna be rental.
I gotta look back. It changed a couple times.
Well, if you can change it, change it.
I mean,
I
those
didn't throw
are,
that out.
Get right on that.
Yeah,
A
right
little
now.
bit further up on the food chain.
those would be a commercial system though, so that should be, knock on wood, a little bit more reliable than somebody's residential one, you know, so.
So we were thinking about doing like a new home like packet that has this information. Possibly working with some of the homeowner associations to get that information out on their websites. Just any way to kind of get that out.
So it's like if someone has like a home security system and the alarm goes off because, and then automatically dials emergency services if you don't disable it. Like you're cooking and your smoke alarm went off and you don't answer the phone because you're trying to get your dog to stop barking or whatever. And then you get called, is that right?
That's a lot of what it is, yep.
But on those particular instances, do they even call the homeowner? I know if it's a security breach, they will, but is it on a fire, they'll go call to see, is there a real fire? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
they're
good.
supposed to call the homeowner too.
And there's that many that miss the call or
Yeah,
burn the toast and they're trying to fan the
yeah, I
detector to.
mean, I think that, I don't know if it's an instance where they're not home or they just, I don't know what the deal is, I guess.
It's such a waste of your time, you know, it's too bad, but There's just gotta be a way of doing something.
I think the communication was good. Hopefully that will
Yeah.
have an impact, but.
Yeah, that just went out last week, right?
Yeah,
And then the direct mail to all the residents.
Yeah, there's 2 other touch points we're working on too.
I had a question on the training last week. You did the first Tuesday night over on Main Street. How did that go overall?
It went pretty good. The only issue was like after the demolition, the company, like anything that wasn't asbestos, they had to get out of the way to get to the asbestos. They kind of just threw it in a pile in the house. So we weren't really expecting that. So it was kind of a rush to get all that stuff out of the way to make room for training. But other than that, once we got all that cleaned up, it went well.
So it's set up for subsequent weeks now. You kind of know what you got over there. Good.
So
Is there something that we can share about that too? If people see activity at that location, or will it be like consistently every Tuesday then for a while?
it'll be the 3rd and 4th Tuesday pretty much now until we completely finish with it, I guess. So.
Jason had worked with Inga on a post, and I know that was drafted a couple weeks ago. I think that maybe they just missed getting it blasted out before last Tuesday.
Should probably remind him before tomorrow then.
I have it, don't worry.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yes, and I hate to-
Anything else? Next item. Discuss and consider proposals for the future facility needs study. We'll pass over that because we did not receive any, nobody submitted anything.
How many did you go out to?
7.
You went out to 7 vendors and we got 0 responses. Did we get any decline letters with any rationale?
It doesn't surprise me that we got 0 back.
How much time is still left?
It was
It's done.
due last
Yeah.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Last Thursday?
Yeah.
There was an email from Cindy today that Wisconsin policy foreman was actually gonna respond, which they don't normally do to RFPs, but apparently there was an illness or something, so I think there is some consideration about they might still be trying to submit something. But she just sent that email this afternoon. So,
I think, rather than spend the money, the way this is gone, just relate back to the old study period and use it. It was meant for a longer period of time, not just for the few years that, wasn't that long ago it was done.
yeah, I think what they were trying to do, what the study that we're trying to do right now is to talk about the facility and like, should that one be remodeled? Should we add another facility? If they are gonna add another facility, where should it be? That's what this one's gonna be. This one was proposed to be, and some of the staffing solutions, like at what point should the fire department talk about becoming more of a full-time model? And what would that staffing solution look like? I think that was more what that was, where the original one was more like what the fire department's doing right now, operations. So I know the existing one doesn't really talk about facilities and what they should do for the future.
I thought it said that there should be one on the west side,
They said there
or
should
on the
be,
north side.
they said eventually there should be a station on the north side,
Well, I
but
mean, they did say that.
yeah. But where? Where on the
It just
north
seems to
side?
me that we could do as good a job,
Right,
hire some local people to, look into things a little bit that know what's going on in the fire department. Rather than going out and spending a large amount of money on, another company from outside the village and town. My opinion.
Did the 22 study talk about staffing?
Yeah, as far as I know, it did.
Yeah,
it's kind of brief. It was like, it looked at our,
at this point,
looked at our time landmarks and it said, once we're not able to meet these
I can send it
times.
to you. I can find it, it's public record.
Well,
I'll back if it sounds like.
I mean, for us, it looked at our timestamps and it said, once our time responses are exceeding these values, X amount of a time, then you should start considering moving to a different staffing model, which we haven't exceeded that yet. But it doesn't really stay like, when you get to that point, what the staffing model should be, like, what should you be hiring? Where should you be hiring them at? And how many
Is this
people you
like
should
having
hire?
a full-time department?
Or people.
Right? Should it be
Yeah.
like a career chief and
Okay.
some LTEs, or should it be, like, it didn't elaborate on any of that. It just said, once you hit these benchmarks, you should consider some kind of a staffing model.
How far away are we on the benchmarks? I mean, is it like we're only a minute away, or is it several minutes, or?
I mean, well, that's kind of a hard question to answer, I guess, because, a lot of our calls we're responding non-emergent to. So like a lot of these false alarms, we go non-emergent to them. So we're taking our time to get to them, where we're stopping at the stoplights, we're not running lights and sirens. So it takes longer to get to them. So those numbers skew a little bit, but we feel the risk outweighs the reward for running emergent to something that we know is going to be a false alarm.
Yeah. No, I understand.
High
I understand. I would just,
contingency of that. So that kind of skews the numbers a little bit. But all in all, we're really, when you talk about responses, you're only really looking at structure fires. That's what ISO looks at. That's what the study's really looking at. But we don't have enough of them to get a consistent number to actually, like, do we have any right now?
I think you got smart enough people that, as time goes by, you can figure this stuff out. I don't think you guys that have been there a long time, if there's already levels that, you should look at more people or full-time people up the way. I think you almost gotta come up with some of this yourself, with hopefully the help of the board, I would think. You guys are the experts.
Well, I think we look at that, but I think the other thing that probably stays in our mind the most is the volume.
The what?
The volume.
of
Yes.
calls.
Oh, yeah.
The volume of calls probably is more than likely gonna be a more, I don't wanna say more important factor, because everything is dependent on the other, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, the more calls you get, do you have the same number of people responding? And how are you pulling people away?
How many is this Heyday gonna develop?
What?
88,
It's a lot of units.
114 units.
Yeah.
114? Is that each single, or is it 114 is?
Townhouse rentals.
is
I don't know how many.
It's in
townhouses.
it's
228.
duplexes, I think,
No,
and
it's
then
4 units,
fourplexes.
4 units and 6 units.
Oh, really? Jesus. Well, they're gonna be new, obviously. That should
Well, that's
solve.
not gonna stop any.
No, I'm with you on that one.
You know, it's interesting, I was looking at this, at the 22 study, the population assumptions in 2022 called for the village to reach a population of 8,400 people in 2035.
It's dated.
It's way dated.
And
It's
that-
hard
and
to
that's
believe
why-
that a 2022 study could be that dated, but the assumptions are, they
Mhm.
missed the mark. big
Out
time.
of there. Yeah.
And at the time, those were fairly aggressive assertions, just because remember the study was done in 2021, and then there are huge population growth in 22 and 23. And so really the goal of the study is to be forward looking, instead of being reactive, to be proactive where development's going to happen, project where calls are going to happen, make sure that the fire department has the equipment that they need recommended at a certain time so we can properly plan for that. So EMS and fire would be very involved because like you said, they are the experts.
Mhm.
But they also they're not connected with on the development side. So this is a way to get all three, the two communities and EMS and fire together to have a comprehensive plan that's updated.
Well, the more buildings you build out here, the larger the population is.
Yep.
And apparently the housing has gone ahead of the amount of people that should be living here by the study, correct?
That wasn't looked at, no. That was
Well,
that was what the
the
projection.
The growth disconnect is heavily driven by the.
You get what I'm saying?
The
I mean,
multifamily,
yeah.
totally.
Sure.
And then calls for service are probably different at a multifamily versus single family homes. And like the equipment needs that you have and, you know, if there's sprinkler systems versus single family homes. So that's, you know, a lot of, you know, different
Well-
variables to bring together and projecting.
Does anything in Hayday require a sprinkler system being installed?
I would presume,
That's
must,
all,
it
it's
must
all
in
supposed to be
rental.
sprinkled. I think it's all gonna be
right?
sprinkler.
So privately owned vehicle or privately owned housing, we have much better chance of probably not having a fire there compared to rental properties. I hate to say that. I think we've learned that a little bit. Anyway, that's just my opinion and I'm sticking to it.
So what you're saying is this Public Administration Associates, they're planning on submitting a proposal? Is that what I just heard, Nick, or you
I
said?
believe
I
Public-
thought it was Wisconsin policy. board.
Wisconsin policy.
Oh, okay, okay. The people who did it before was Public Administration Associates.
I don't think they were one of the people that was solicited for a bid this time, were they? Or what, they were?
They didn't respond.
Oh,
What does the state have that could help with all this, or Dane County or whatever, as far as,
Do they have
What you
any
guys do
tools
and-
that you can reach out for?
studies or that they can do to help for a study or?
I mean, there's consultants that can answer questions if you reach out to them and ask them the types of questions you might have. They might refer you.
And they might pay for something, you never know.
The state's not going to charge you if you ask them a question.
Yeah,
But does it have to be a specific question? Like, you know, the estimated population growth in Cottage Grove is going to be,
They're not going to know what that is because they don't have access to the plans or the comprehensive plans or what might be coming or being proposed.
The Department of Administration puts out population projections, but those have been off for every
yeah,
municipality in
they,
Dane County.
I wouldn't put much trust in anything that they put out.
Right.
state or county would be probably more based in code requirements, like the code says you need to have a fire station X amount, or that would be really more like an ISO.
Yeah, those requirements are all best practices too, when it comes to response times and locations of stations. They're not requirements in Wisconsin, they're just recommendations. So when you see that in a document, like where someone's saying we have to build a station within this many miles or this many minutes, that's all best practice in the state of Wisconsin.
what you,
There's no
like right now,
adopted
it's having
rule.
as many volunteers as you can get, right? So you got people that don't have to be overburdened with everything that's going on, but you'll keep, the retention will be good. That's how I see it anyway, I would think.
Yeah.
And you're doing a fairly good job at that. Do you think you're in good shape right now, or?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier this year, when we started talking about paid per call, it kind of comes in waves, you know, we dipped for a little bit. We've gotten a few applications now. Not sure how they'll all pan out, you know, because they're all pretty green. So, you know, you bring people on, they say that they really want to get into it, and then
When they see how much
then you
work
see
it
how much
takes,
they actually
it's-
respond.
Yeah.
Time will tell, you know, so.
One thing that's really helpful too is to look at communities that are similar size, similar population, and how they're operating and what's successful for them and what's not successful for them.
That's a good idea.
And do some comparisons and figure out what maybe is best for our community too. So what's not working for us and what's working for us here.
Yeah. You guys ever get together to do that, volunteer, you know, organizations like you?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
well, you?
No.
Just for information, you know, just to talk and,
Yeah, I mean, we talk pretty closely with our neighbors, so Stoughton, Deerfield, Cambridge.
maybe they've done a study, you know, who knows? It would be useful.
There's
Well,
departments
could be.
around us all the time doing studies.
Yeah.
But it
They're
doesn't
all
mean
over
they're
the
the
place.
same as us. Like there's nobody that's the same as us, but maybe similar. That you can always get ideas from them, but I think we're a unique community with unique hazards and unique target populations. So I think there's a lot of different cards to play here. I think it's definitely up to you guys as a commission to decide what you want to do. We're just here to kind of provide you our expertise from the fire department and what we know our needs are. So I think
I
that's the
think
best we
that's
can
what,
do.
what we need, what you're doing, in my opinion. You know, I think you guys are looking ahead. I don't think there's a question there. Obviously, the village is growing super fast, maybe faster than, you know, for you guys to keep up with, actually, in a way. And the town is growing also, so. And so you got a job ahead of you. So you guys have to be thinking of the future, what's gonna happen. And I hope the board here can help you make the things come through that you need.
Anything else? Nope. Next item, Emergency Services Building. Discuss and consider the fire chief's request for additional signage to indicate parking is for emergency responders only.
So this popped up from a call a couple weeks ago. It was on a Sunday. The town has soccer fields behind the town hall here. And what ends up happening is when it's a soccer tournament or some of the bigger events, parking fills up in the town hall lot and then they move over to the fire station lot and start parking. And this particular incident, it was an outside fire that was a couple acres burning for a wildland fire. And there was, I don't know, I'd say 10 to 15 overfilled cars from soccer into the fire station parking lot, which then fills up the spots for responders when they come in. So there was less spots for our responders to come. And then when we had to get out with the brush truck and the UTV, the way that some of them were parked made it so we couldn't get, it was a struggle to get the truck out and around with all the congestion. So we've talked about it in the past. We've talked with Kim and the town about reminding soccer that they're not supposed to park in that lot, even when it's overfilling. But it still happens every once in a while. And there used to be more signs over there, but then one of the light poles fell, so we lost half the signs that were there because they were attached to it. So we're asking to buy more signs so we can make it pretty clear that the whole lot is for emergency response vehicles only, as opposed to,
Is this one right here, is that one that you have up right now?
yeah,
No, so you want some more like those?
yep,
That's a good sign, looks
Are
like.
8 signs gonna be enough?
yeah. So we calculated out, we'd add 2 more to the existing light pole, a couple to the actual building, and then a couple around the outside of the lot. So
So
that
you're gonna
would be,
need some posts as well.
And is that gonna, you think that's enough to prevent people from parking? Like, you think the sign is gonna?
I think it'll help. I mean, I think you'll still have a few.
You always write tickets. We're gonna have to call it the tow truck, like the sign
Yeah, like the
says.
sign
Little
says.
icon.
It's still, like, with it, the way it was before, like, people could argue that I thought it was only no parking by that light post because there's 2 signs there, but the rest of the parking lot's not very well marked, so. Figure if we mark the whole lot and then it still struggles to be a problem, then, you know, we can get the town involved, and if we have to, then get the deputies involved.
Do you have money for that right now?
We're thinking coming out of the ESB funds for that. Or we could figure out a fire budget if we need to, I guess.
Well, I make a motion that we
Purchase 8.
purchase 8 signs at a price of not to exceed $275.
Second,
Motion is second to purchase 8 of the emergency personnel only parking signs at a cost not to exceed $275.
question, what if they need poles? Is that gonna include the cost of poles as well?
I guess I didn't talk to Dan about how much he charges per pole.
I'm sure between the town and village. we can
Yeah,
come up
that's
with-
not a,
Most, it doesn't,
We can take care of that. I'm
it's
sure.
not like
Okay.
we're
No,
looking
I'm
for
just
I think we
bulk
probably
numbers
have
or
the
anything
money.
else like that, so. All right, we have a motion and a,
ESB fund then, or the repair fund, or just out of some budget?
I think there was still money left in the ESB fund.
Yeah, there's money in there.
I
Let's
think
do
would
that
be
then.
appropriate to
Yeah,
take it out.
I'll
of
add that to my motion.
motion.
Second, I'll add that to mine as well.
All right, again, a motion to approve using funds from the ESB fund balance. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. Okay, next item, discuss and consider the approval for the Nichols Electric quote for the lighting in the ESB.
So I brought this forward last month and it was the generic one that had all the items in it, even stuff that had been done already. And the board asked for me to clean it up and only include stuff that still needed to be done. So he came in and he redid the quote. The new number is down at the bottom there, that 19,616. That does all the emergency lights. It does, there's like a fan up in the top of the hose tower that's burned out as well. It's gonna do that at the same time. And then all the lights. So that's what the new total was. So, I don't know if you have any questions or not.
The last time we talked about taking from the ESB fund, right?
So I haven't seen a bill from Electrical Solutions for anything that they've done this year.
I think they were holding off because I think they were hoping to get the rest of the work.
Because this year's budget has $5,000 for capital improvements. That was the lights, what was my understanding.
Correct.
So- So I don't know if they're gonna use that whole 5,000 with what they're gonna bill or not, or more. I
Right.
don't have any idea. Do you?
I mean, I think they were waiting to bill because I think they were waiting to hear how the board decided about.
So I guess if they bill less than that, I guess the question for the commission is just, would you use that 5,000 up first and then go to ESB repair funds?
If we don't, what happens to the remaining 5,000?
Well, it's just this year's, but it's in this year's budget, so I mean, it just goes away.
But were we gonna pay that to Nichols originally, the 5,000?
No, I don't know that there was any
I thought that was
determination.
going to Electrical Solutions.
Correct. Electrical Solutions originally had the contract, basically.
And was that 5,000 for, like, they handpicked a few things that they were
Yeah,
gonna
they were
do?
gonna do the basement, the main meeting room, and a couple other rooms, and that came out to around $5,000.
Okay.
So they're still gonna do that?
That's already done.
Oh.
We just
okay.
don't know what their bill is.
We don't have a
yet.
bill.
No.
They haven't billed because we refreshed the quote from them too, to do the rest of the building, which was in the last month's meeting.
Mm.
But they were actually more expensive and we had quite a few problems getting them to actually do the work, so.
Work, yeah, I remember that.
So I think we decided that maybe we wanted to go with Nichols, because they were cheaper and they seemed to be a little bit more responsive.
So where did that money come from?
What's that, Mike?
Where did the money come from for the 19,000?
So basically, you're saying everything above 19,616 plus 5, or everything above 5,000, combining Nichols and Electrical Solutions should go to ESB repair fund, is that
Yes.
seem right?
So what you're saying is we pay the
Electrical
Electrical
Solutions.
Solutions invoice when it comes, and then he had the balance of those funds would cover this charge, and then the difference would come out of the ESB.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to pay Electrical Solutions out of the original quote for the lighting for the ESB. In the event there's an overage, that remaining monies would then be paid from along with the Nichols quote from the ESB fund.
Mhm.
Yep. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next one. High-tech heating, detailed quote for the ESB dehumidifier.
This is one that Chief Lang brought in last month, but you guys asked for a more detailed quote because it was just a price. It didn't have anything itemized on it. But it was for the mold problem down in the ESB, adding a return duct, dehumidifier to the duct, and changing the thermostat out to a programmable one. So
Well, it was cleaned. It takes a little while, you know. Did we decide that was what we wanted to do, or
I think that's what we talked
Mhm.
I
about.
think we
Yes.
did, didn't we?
Yeah. We just needed to know just
because it got approved or anything.
who's
no.
doing what with what kind of
Right,
thing.
no, it didn't.
No,
But-
the question was, did you want to do everything? Did you want, at least I thought it was,
Correct.
did you want to do everything? Did you just want to put that return in the EOC room?
I mean, we got lots of mold over there we got a lot of equipment over there that's moldy.
It was, it's been
It
all
was
cleaned,
Right?
yeah.
It's been
But
cleaned
in
now.
your, I don't know, you might have missed some of the meetings, Mike, but what happened was it didn't get switched over to air conditioning this year.
No, I understand
I
that
don't know
part.
if you heard that or not.
And I did read the packet, so I was
Okay.
bored. It's the only thing I could do.
So are we thinking the thermostat, if it was operating properly, we wouldn't have this problem, or do you think we need to do this?
If somebody remembered to change the thermostat over, you wouldn't have to do it. This would, the new thermostat that they're talking about would make it so it would just automatically change over.
Even when it changes over, cutting down the humidity is only gonna help mitigate any future problems.
Correct.
How much is in the ESB fund again?
Yeah.
It's in your packet, but,
Is it in the packet?
5,000 or something?
No, how much
It's
is,
about 100,000, I think, because we just got another 40,000
I think
in there because both the town and the village, it's the fund balance report. 105,000.
I just got two there.
So
We just approved.
Well, I think we
Yeah,
should do
plenty
it,
of it.
I think we should do it
20
right.
of it?
I agree with you, Mike.
I think we should too.
I see it.
I'd make a motion that we spend no more than $5,000 on the fixing the basement humidity
I'll second that.
and use high tech.
Excuse me. Motion and a second to approve the quote from High Tech Heating and Air Conditioning for the ducting, the dehumidifier, as well as the thermostat and installation. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item. Uzelman Plumbing for a toilet.
Did they replace all the toilets?
So this one, they missed one, and so Steve made an executive decision and said, replace.
They were
this
there
one
doing
too.
all the rest of them.
Yeah,
They-
so now the question is just, do you want this extra little bit to also use the ESB repair?
Sure, why not?
No, I think Steve should pay for it.
As long as I get naming rights.
I thought I was putting in a whole new toilet area or something.
I move approval of Usselman Plumbing, take it out of the ESB fund as well.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve the previously completed toilet.
Unless you want to
Replacement.
pay for it.
No thanks.
Take it out.
The town doesn't pay me that well. For the remaining toilet replacement, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. The Next item is the generator replacement. And this was to give us an idea what we would be looking at for future, an idea for future costs, at least get us in the ballpark. And
Do we have an expected life on the existing generator?
I think we're past
Yesterday.
it.
What?
Yesterday.
And what are the issues with it when you talk about? It needs,
Reliability, I mean, it's as old as the building. We talked about not doing it now because,
it's natural gas?
and so with the uncertainty of what the building's gonna look like, it doesn't make sense to do it now. I think there's some scope misunderstanding based off of the differences between the two quotes.
So,
Well, they're two different things.
So here, so just a little explanation. So like, I think last time when we talked, you asked for like a budget number to do like a like-for-like replacement and then a replacement with a 20% increase in size. Because if you added onto the building, you'd add potentially up to 20% capacity. Nichols only gave us a 20% increase, but they also included install. And there's an issue that you guys have now because they replaced both of those air conditioners on the south side of the building that are now bigger. They're too close to the generator. So the generator can't be installed where it is anymore. Or the air conditioners have to be moved. Something has to be moved. By electrical code, the air conditioners are too close to the generator. So his quote is to install the new 20% bigger generator with the new switch gear and the new wires, because as you increase the size, you're gonna have to increase the wires and the conduit and moving it and running all the conduits underground into the building. That's why his is so expensive at $140,000. So his is the full project. And following all code minus the gas line piping, because he doesn't do gas piping. That would have to be done by somebody like High Tech or another contractor. So where it looks like the other contractor just gave you a price for a new generator.
And none of the extra side work, so
Not installed, they're just selling you a new generator. Somebody else would have to install it still.
So it's 34 plus install.
But if we were doing a renovation on a building and expansion, that we would
Roll it
replace
in.
it as part of, right?
Right.
so, but this was just, we don't need this right now, do we?
You guys asked for like a budgetary.
No,
number,
that's,
so
I'm
we can
I'm
kinda
just
have an
curious
idea
about it.
What would happen is that was my understanding.
So like 2027, 2028, this would get placed on a tentative replacement schedule. I would recommend, because we're a couple years out, just using the 140 as a place, like this is tentatively what it's gonna
Just
cost.
a placeholder.
And yeah, and understanding the ESB funds should be kind of set aside for that to help reduce that burden on that year, because that will also be the same year as the ladder truck.
It'll be 150 plus, because you got the gas piping, the landscaping, the
And you,
blacktop.
and you said 27 or 28?
27, 28, depending on the scope of the study. So if they say remodel this building, then it should be installed in
Or the remodel.
remodel. If it says new building, well, there still needs to be a generator here, so then it can be done sooner.
How often is the current generator tested?
It's under a service contract annually.
We tested quarterly for them too.
When's the last time it was used? Never?
I mean, it's come on in storms, I don't know the exact date.
Yeah, but you only,
Where all the power's gone out?
you only need it one time when it.
If something's
Last year.
drastic.
When you need it,
Yeah.
you need it. So it's under a contract for service. I'm assuming they're doing recommended PMs and making sure that anything that needs to be repaired or replaced is being done.
Mhm.
So, but you're saying, and I think Cam, you said it's past due. What was the,
For a facility like this, it is well past its useful life. Just from a reliability perspective, I think it's 30 years old and at most 25 years for generators of that capacity. This would be different if it was like a public workshop. But because this is where EOC is.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
No action on this side of it. All right, next item. Discuss and consider proposals to restripe the parking lot.
This is actually the apparatus bay, not the parking. This is typo, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So I had the one quote from that Universal Seal, but it was a generic quote. And when I asked him to formalize it, he went way up in price when he formalized it. So he's now higher than this other company, which is Seven Hills. Universal Seal and Markings is gonna do tape, like what's in there now. Seven Hills is gonna do a reflective epoxy paint, because they don't do tape. Had a hard time finding people that actually do the reflective tape. So it's a horse piece. The Seven Hills guy said that the epoxy paint usually lasts 7 to 10 years. He said 7 to 10 years when we were talking to him, right?
I want to say 7. I want to say it's more like 5 to 7.
Oh,
It didn't sound like it would last as long as the tape.
The tape would last longer?
Well, this tape has lasted 20 to 30 years, so it's lasted a very long time. I
But
just
you'd
remember,
rather have
I
the
remember
epoxy
thinking,
paint?
that's not very long. So, I don't know. I've never seen the epoxy, so I don't know. I can't compare.
I mean, we put an epoxy floor in one of our meat processing plants, but that was forever, years ago.
Yeah, and I would hope that none of our trucks are gonna be driving over where the lines are. They're not intended, like, ideally, you don't really wanna be, you should be driving.
Depends on how good of drivers they are.
if you're driving where the lines are, you're probably hitting all the duct work and everything that else is. We got bigger problems if you're driving where the lines are.
I mean, the worst that's gonna happen is we're gonna be washing them, and running hose and water and stuff over them, so.
So you would prefer tape then or not?
I think the benefit to the tape is that it will last longer, from my understanding, but the cost seems kind of high.
It's only $500,
$500,
$600 more.
If it lasts that much longer, it would certainly be a better
I
value.
would think it would be a lot better value.
How is, do you know how Universal is actually gonna remove the old tape?
I'm not sure, and I've never actually heard of them before. It was kind of, so they were just a company we found, but I've never actually heard of them before reaching out to them, so I don't know. So,
That would be my
What?
concern. I don't see what method they use to go ahead and remove. I've seen Seven Hills do a lot of work. And they actually have these cool little grinders that, well, you've seen them on the highways, where they will take out the width of the stripe and actually provide a nice bonding surface for the paint. Not that, but I just want to make sure that Universal would do something similar, because the last thing I want to do is put fresh tape over old glue
Yeah.
or remnants or whatever, so.
I mean, their scope says that they're gonna remove it, and then they're gonna clean and prep it, remove proper, and ensure proper adhesion of the new material, so.
Yeah, it says they're gonna do that, remove existing floor aisle tape.
Either one of them speaks to any sort of warranty of sorts. Inherently, I would think epoxy paint would last longer, but if your experience has been the tape lasts longer, it really kind of goes down to the recommendation that you guys have.
I see they do. Their website, they've got a pretty detailed website on what they do.
Yeah, I've never used either, so I guess I don't know which one's better, but like she said, the people from Seven Hills told us 5 to 7 years for the epoxy paint, and Universal didn't tell us how long the tape would last, but we know it's lasted so far 25 years.
Yeah, but if it's apples to apples material,
Right.
between. It's almost one of those roll the dice situations.
I wish I could say I've seen the epoxy before, so I knew. I
On
don't.
their website here, they talk about warehouse epoxy floor striping on Universal. So it looks like they do epoxy, but they recommended tape.
But it says they're gonna, it says Universal is gonna install marking tape. So
Is that? You put the epoxy paint down. That's more of a permanent, based on how we're looking at moving things around and adding stations. It seems like a little bit more to pay. We have had good luck with the tape for a considerable amount of time, but if we change apparatus and usage of those buildings, I feel like what's it gonna take to remove epoxy paint? Should that?
No, just a grinder that they would, Seven
grind it
Hills
up.
would use to take the tape up with, the same process. But,
I don't know.
no, right,
I'm
I'm just
asking.
saying, but wouldn't your lines line up with the doors anyway?
So, essentially, yes.
That would, the one thing that's different for always for different apparatus is where the tires stop.
Right.
So we have markers for where our tires stop for each apparatus. So
Oh,
if
I
we
see.
change up a different apparatus at a different door, then you might have to change tire stops.
well, what do you guys recommend?
I guess because the one doesn't have very long life, I think maybe the tape would be the better option. I don't know, it's just my thought.
Chief, wasn't there some preventative maintenance on those floors that was in the 26 budget? Some cleaning?
That's the main, that's the regular floors and the rest of the building that we're actually doing this week. We got to start, I guess, stripping and waxing.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
I think it comes down to what you guys, I think the numbers are close enough that it really comes down to what you guys would like to.
I would say the tape, just because it's what we have there, it's what we've always had. It seemed to have lasted a long time up until now. And it seems like if we had to change the tire marks for where the trucks park, it'd be easier to do that, like Jess is suggesting, with tape than it would be the paint. So I would say the tape would probably be the better option.
Which is universal seal. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes.
I would make a motion to, oh, actually, my other question before I make this motion. We had talked about putting this in then the budget for 2026, or we're looking to do this right away. I think there was some debate about that a couple of minutes ago.
It's up to you guys too. I mean, we can push it off. If we're gonna put it in the 2026 budget, then probably wanna do like a larger do not exceed, because they went up quite a bit for a few months, so, you know.
Maybe $5,000, do not exceed.
Or would we
And then
just
put
not
it in
want,
the 26 budget.
or would we just charge ESB budget and just get it done?
Just do it now.
Yeah.
The price goes up.
Get her done.
You're gonna, just remember, there is no more ESP funds. This, what you have is
Is it?
it, and there's some things, I said 105, but there are some things that haven't come out of that yet because we haven't paid for them yet, like where the floors ESB repair fund. That just made me think that that's not out of there because we haven't been billed for it yet. So remember that, you know, there
Do
is.
you recommend we put it in the budget for 26?
I mean, it's not up to me to recommend. It's just that.
I think we should put it in
I
the
thought-
budget for 26.
Would they even be able to get in yet this year? With it being September?
You didn't say what their lead time is.
Maybe the quote won't go up that much.
What if I think if we signed it, then that would be, we'd lock in the price, I would guess.
Could you maybe ask him if he could hold off billing us until 2026?
Well, it's gotta be billed when the work gets done. I mean, you can't,
No,
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather put it in when it's warm outside than
Yeah, that's what I
wait
was
till it's
thinking
the middle
too.
of winter.
Plus, you're gonna have trucks sitting outside.
Well, then put it in now.
I make a motion that we take the tape proposal from Universal Seal, that's the one, right?
Yeah,
Universal Seal and Markings to not exceed $2,600, $2,600. And be taken out of the, what is the fund? The one this year?
ESB repair
Yeah.
fund.
Where did you
Correct.
get 2,600? It's for
40, I said 40, 4,600.
No, okay. Second.
motion and a second to approve the quote from Universal Seal and Markings for retaping the floor in the ESB, not to exceed, I believe you said 4,600.
Yeah,
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider the 2026 ESB budget.
Steve, I think you missed G.
Wait, that's not the next item.
2025.
2025 ESB.
ESB budget.
No,
I'm
versus
sorry.
actual.
I'd already checked it off. Thinking we get out of here, my apologies.
25 budget versus actual.
I tried to break things out to kind of give you a good picture of what's what, because really that's just one line item that we track all of the expenses with in the town's budget, but I tried to break it out so you could kind of see how much we're spending on various categories and where we're at. And obviously, this is just what I have bills for. Like, I just looked back to that floor quote. I think that was about 5,800, but that's gonna come out of the ESB repair fund.
And the spring HVAC was never performed yet?
Nope. So they're supposed to be here first week of October or something for the fall one, but, I never did the spring checkup.
So if you totalize that up, we're over, right?
You're not over, no, you're still under budget. If you look at like the category for building maintenance, you budgeted, you're actually right there. You budgeted 3,000, you've already spent 3,051 for building maintenance type of items. So you're really not, you're still under. It's just really whether you want to move anything else to ESB repair funds is the question, I think, is why Steve wanted it on the agenda. But when you break it out, you're really not in bad shape.
So the ESP repair fund, account 34,000 has 105,812. And then you're saying we added 40,000 to it?
That's including the 40,000 that was just added to it. Yeah, that's including the 40,000. And then you guys just talked about about
45.
30.
Was it 30, yeah.
30 to come out of it, plus there's $5,800 for the floors. And I think that's it, but I don't have all that right in front of me, unfortunately. I think that's it. I think everything else has already been taken out.
Well, then the electrical solutions.
Well, that's covered by the capital budget for this year.
Okay,
Well, 5,000 of it, right?
Yeah, and which
Well,
we,
up to 5,000.
yeah, and we don't expect, I mean, I don't expect that's gonna be a lot more, because that's what the scope of their work was enough to use about 5,000, I thought. So, but then you also, tonight you allocated 20,000 for Nichols, 5 for High Tech, 5 for, the striping,
30 grand.
yeah. 30 grand.
So of the 107,000 in the ESB budget, there's 75,000 left about. After what we just talked about.
Yeah,
There's the plumbing from last time too.
that was $500.
$500,
Yeah.
Oh, that was this time, but last time was it more?
That's already come out, right? Yeah, use some on plumbing. If you look down at the bottom there, we've already used 17,000.
49,35.
And use some was in there. That just doesn't include the extra toilet. One thing that has been using ESB repair fund dollars this year is the professional pest control that was approved after the year started.
Yeah.
That I would suggest you make sure you get into your regular budget, obviously, next year.
So it says discuss and consider this. What is there?
It's just to give you a good look at it.
Okay.
At this point and see if you see the need to use any more repair funds to keep your budget in line. But
Well, there's nothing to
I
consider
don't
tonight.
really, I
other-
don't really think you do.
So it was just for information, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, show you where you're at.
does anybody have any questions?
No?
Moving on.
Thank you, Ken.
Discuss and consider the 2026 ESP building budget.
So I guess what you just looked at for 25, you can kind of see what we've spent this year in each of those categories too. That's the only reason I gave you that. So you can see what goes in each of those categories.
So you put the ones that we've got contract prices, but like gas and electricity, I mean,
Yeah, so, you just kind of, I mean, you can, I probably wouldn't change that.
21,270,
Looks
just
like
carry
we're
it.
on target to be about that same amount. And I mean, I think that'll cover it, assuming that those things don't go up in price a lot. If you look at what we have, we've got 8.5 months in the actual column, so multiply that by 12, and that's about where you're gonna end up this year for these utility type things that are billed monthly. HVAC was interesting because their bid this year, it took some going back and forth to get all of the furnaces accounted for and everything, but it came out lower than their quote last year, and I don't quite understand that, but, and I looked at it a couple times, and that was for both spring and fall, right?
That's what it looked like.
It confused me why it would come in lower. But I would definitely pad that number up against, because that's just their maintenance check, so if anything's broken, you gotta pay for that too. So I would pad that up some,
From the 2402
yeah.
that you got.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at previous years, can give you some idea where you've been on some of that stuff, maybe 3,500 or something at least.
Okay,
So
I
that
think
lines
that's
both
fair.
the service contract and the repairs.
The 2402 is just their contract.
But the repairs wouldn't come
Yeah.
under
that would
building
be on top
maintenance.
of that,
Well,
right?
this is all building maintenance. I mean, this is really all one account in our budget, and I've just kind of broken it out. And so building maintenance if you look at what I put in that other sheet for building maintenance, is things like, extinguisher service and garage door service, pest control, things like that. So I kind of kept the HVAC in its own subcategory there. And then same thing with elevator and telephone. That elevator, that's all based on the regular prices. I don't know if I would pad that one up much. Generator service, that's just the yearly check of the generator. So again, if they have to fix anything, it's gonna be more than that. So you might want to add like that, I don't know.
Are you looking for us to kind of build where we should budget? So should we start at the top and
Yeah,
agree
so
on
I
numbers?
kind of filled in what I had from contract prices and figured you guys could figure out what you wanted to do for the other ones based on year to date and previous years, probably.
So gas and electric, it's hard to extrapolate that because of heating and the nonlinear consumption, but somehow we came up with a budget of 21,270 last year.
Well, it's actually been that one for way from since two.
And last year it was 19th, the actual was 19th, so it was way under budget.
Pretty modest winter.
So why would we not just carry that 21,270 forward?
I would.
Okay, so that's what we do. We carry the 21,270 forward. Water and sewer. Looks like water consumption keeps going up.
Well, I think the rates went up too.
Yeah, so, yeah, sewer is gonna go up by 4%. Water, there's no planned increases.
How much of that is sewer though?
About 52% of the bill is sewer.
Why do we pay that as a government entity?
Because according to the PSC, everybody's gotta pay their fair share.
Everybody, what do
Everybody.
you mean?
So
Government?
any entity that serves, so any building that's,
Any metered building.
That surprises me a little bit.
because otherwise the residential customers would be paying for, and businesses would be paying for a government, that'd be a tax.
So the question is, what should it be? So it's,
I would do 3,000.
It was 3,093 actual.
actual was 3,093 last year. So like 3,200? If it's going up? The actual last year was $3,093, Cam.
I'm seeing that.
And the year before that, it was almost 29.
So 3,200.
3,200.
I was just looking at 25.
Okay. And Kim, you're saying that the the HVAC, the 2402 is just the contracted amount?
Yep.
And in 24, we spent $2,800?
24, we spent 2,800. That's pretty, that was also true in 23.
About 28. There must have been a big expense in 21. So it should be more than the 24. Should we match it, what we spent last year, which is 2,800?
So if we're not contributing to ESB and we just want our budget to match what I mean, you can't predict if something's going to break, but you can certainly. I don't know, do we want it to be more if we're not going to contribute 20,000 each to the ESB if something breaks? I guess that's the balance that we have to find in all the first two.
Yeah, I think, in terms of contracted service in any typical nominal type repairs, but if it's a big repair like in 2021 where it was $5,000, there was obviously some sort of
Furnace.
furnace repair or something that had to be replaced.
We replaced a lot of the furnaces this year, didn't we?
Not this.
I guess I wouldn't try and get it down to the exact penny.
I agree with that.
If you knocked it up couple hundred bucks,
3,000 and,
well,
well, I mean, we spent,
somewhere between 24 and 3, only for the fact that, I don't know, it's just, there's
if
so
you
many
go back to
little parts that.
2023 though, we spent almost 3,000 in 2023.
Yep.
And then we spent almost 3,000 again in 2024.
I mean, at a certain point, we're splitting hairs, we can't predict. So if it's 2,400 base contract, you got 600 for any parts, minor
Yeah.
parts, 3,000 seems very reasonable.
3,000
Yeah,
seems
3,000
reasonable to
on the
me.
button. Yeah.
3,000.
And insurance, is that
That's a guess. Or I mean, they usually, they won't tell you this early.
really?
They usually say like guess about 3%.
So that's between,
4675 plus 3%, is that kind of what you're saying?
That'd be a good guess, I think. You get any different feels for that, Cameron?
5,000.
Comes to 4815, so
I mean-
5,000 certainly would.
Yeah, you're not, it also depends on what you're insuring, if you're gonna get anything new that's gonna add insurance, or if you're gonna get rid of anything that isn't gonna
Are
be
we insuring
insurance.
anything new? The UTV, was that new? Does it need,
No.
we're talking building, not, okay,
Everything.
that's everything?
so 5,000.
5,000. 3% on top is 4815, so it's $185 buffer, that's it. Yep.
5,000 right there.
Okay,
Yep.
elevator,
Through September 1828, that looks like about 26.
26 is year-to-date. No, 26 is what you're
No.
proposing. So,
Year
but
year to date is
in 24, we spent 26.
1828.
Your phone, your elevators probably, well, first of all, I'm working on it. National Elevator usually only bills us for one inspection, and they billed us for 2 this year, and I'm trying to get an answer of why that was, so we might be rolling back $90 on that one if I can figure it out with them. And the phone is $300 a year. I mean, the phone is cheap now because we have that host my step, so I don't expect that number will change much between now and the end of the year.
So 2,000 then?
So yeah, I would say 2,000 is probably. Yeah, that generator service is just their maintenance trip charge, basically.
So the 829,
Yeah,
building maintenance.
so that was the one that, there's kind of where you want to build in some contingency. I wouldn't do 3,000 again. I would probably do, I don't know, but I would do more than 3,000.
4,000?
Because
12 to 15,000. You got to look at what you've been spending in your ESB fund every year, which is even well above the 12 to 15.
It was
Yeah.
15 in 2023, something was, I mean, you just can't
That's what we're
predict what
looking
you're
at.
gonna get hit with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2023. Yeah.
And 2021 was 74.
So do you go 10?
And why is that?
12 or 15.
Why are you saying that? That we need to,
Because we're not gonna have
Go
the
that high?
ESP repair fund contributions, which is 20 for each municipality historically, right? That's what we're saying?
And so if you look at kind of the annual spending in that fund, along with the repairs, that's where I was recommending, I think 15,000 is honestly a good number there. If you don't use it, great, it just rolls back, the village doesn't get billed, the town doesn't get billed, and it, goes kind of back, but that gives you some contingency.
And given the money that we just proved tonight, 15 is not enough. I don't expect us, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of old deferred maintenance items that aren't gonna recur
Yeah.
next year, right?
Well, I mean, we're taking care of a lot of it tonight.
But you never know what a garage door is gonna break or something, and that's.
Well, we just replaced them all.
Right,
It
that's
should
true.
be under warranty or something. For at least a year, I would hope.
What about all the work that needs to be done in back with tearing
What?
up the back of this building? I thought that was discussed about at an earlier meeting.
of that building, you mean?
Parking lot.
Oh, yeah, over there. All disoriented.
You can do it if you want to do it here.
But you're recommending us to bump that up to 15?
Yeah.
But see, now we're guessing totally.
Okay, so
Way out of hand.
so the ramifications are here, we don't know what the building maintenance
Yeah, correct.
surprises are gonna be. We took care of a lot of them. But the one thing that we know is we're not gonna have the ESP repair fund contributions, the 20 grand per municipality,
Yeah.
right? So that goes into a fund, whereas this is a budgeted amount, right? So if it doesn't get used, it doesn't get used. If it gets overspent, what happens?
If it overspends,
Yeah.
Kim bills the town and the village for that, and the
So if we went
municipalities.
10 and we say some big surprise comes and we gotta spend 20, it's just gonna get billed.
Right, but then, you know.
That's a
then-
surprise we don't wanna deal with. I get it.
Then we both have to figure out where are we
I
gonna,
know.
what are we not gonna do that we were gonna do because we didn't tax for this money.
So I'm looking at this, that you're really going from 4,300, which is the 40 and the 3,000 combined, down to 15,000.
4,300.
So the 20,000 from the village, 20,000 from the town, and
Yeah.
then 3,000, that's 43,000. You're actually decreasing funding.
Yeah, I think 15 makes sense. Actually, you know, in light of the repairs that we
No,
already,
we're not spending the 40, if we're not
20
gonna,
each.
the 20 each. It's gonna give us some wiggle room, so, I mean, 15 is reasonable in my eye.
Okay,
15.
So, just so I get it clear in my mind, we're doing 15K for the ESP fund.
Not the ESP
Nothing
fund
for
for
that.
Building
building maintenance.
Maintenance, sorry.
right.
Yep.
So that's 7,500 each municipality, if you wanna look at it that way versus 20.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Plus
would
the
that
3 grand
be-
that was budgeted last.
would that be assessed at the beginning of the year
No.
or as the expenses come in?
As the expenses come in.
Okay.
And that's why I was asking for
So
like,
it's
for the
on-
HVAC service levels, I was wondering, is that a line where just the contract goes in and anything really maintenance or replacement goes into the building?
These line
Either or.
items don't really
Yeah.
mean that much, it's just getting you to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, these lines really don't mean anything, I just put it that way because HVAC is something that you could have to pay to fix something, and so I didn't wanna just hope that you thought about it in building maintenance, I guess, is why I put it there.
Why was 2023 15,000?
2023, that was actual,
Yeah, but I'm saying it's, now we're looking at,
I don't know what the budget was, but, I don't know, I don't have the details.
I wonder,
on that.
must be
That
some
was a couple
reasons.
Let's see.
Building maintenance. It's the only year that's been anywhere near that.
2023 had, remember that Tile with Style company that did that tiling in the basement? You weren't probably on the commission, but they redid some floors. That was almost $7,000 that year. There was $2,800 to High Tech. That probably was a furnace. Electrical Solutions did $2,600 worth. So there was quite a bit of work done over there. There was something, $1,800 to Great Lakes Roofing for something.
So it was just sort of coincidence that
So it
that
was-
year we
That was a
needed
leak,
A
I
a
big
lot more
year,
money.
Yeah,
Huh?
I thought that was a leak in the tower or something.
maybe, yeah,
Was
that's
it?
probably right.
So what are we doing? 15,000, right?
Yes.
I mean, this year alone, between what we approved tonight, what's been spent, the ESP repair fund has hit about $47,000, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, 15 in light of where we're at.
I'm looking at, by my estimates, it looks like this total is gonna be about 56,000.
It
For the
is,
year.
it is, which, last year's budget, or this year's budget, I guess, when you split it between the two, including the $40,000 worth of ESP repair funds, was 44,000 each. We're down to 27,000 each with this, so it's actually a reduction in the budget.
Which we expected to help cover the cost of the pay-per-call for fire.
Right.
Okay.
You know, also, I don't know if there's anything that needs to go in that capital outlay line or not.
Where's that?
Right below that.
Right below
operating
the
expenses.
30,000.
If there's any capital outlay, any big projects.
And that was included in $4,000 for the cleaning services, or is that a contract?
That's a contract, yeah, you could bump that up a little. Well, no, that shouldn't change. That's a contract.
So 3,700.
If you want to round it up, we could
Sure.
round it up. And that cleaning supply number, so Deer Grove buys cleaning supplies through the year, and then at the end of the year, they send a bill. And so this year's budget is 1,200, last year's, it's been usually a little more than that. Last year was 1,450, year before that was 1,693, so I don't know.
Make that 1,500.
1,500, yep.
All right. And then I'll round the cleaning up to 3,700.
Okay,
So now I'm at 55,499, which is 27,749.50
Well,
each.
56, like I said,
Yep,
plus or
unless
minus.
there's anything to go in that capital outlay, if there's any other big things you think you're gonna do next year. Yeah, already covered in the things above.
So 56 is what we're talking about.
We don't anticipate any capital outlay returns in 26.
I don't think so.
I don't know. if it's-
Right.
We talked about the parking lot.
Then 2026, so
I don't remember.
I don't think that has to be in 2026.
the parking lot, re-asphalt or what, or just,
Gravel.
The back parking
It's
lot
gravel.
is all destroyed, but we do all of our extrication back there, so we talked about just tearing it up and just graveling it, so we don't keep running asphalt. But I don't know, that doesn't have to be done in 26, be done in 27 too.
Can't imagine it costs that much. Just to
Never got
gravel.
any
our
outside.
crews could do that.
I'm gonna round that generator service up to 830, because that puts it us at an even 55,500.
Fair enough.
56, like I said. Because these aren't gonna be set numbers in stone. Something's gonna go up, obviously.
What's
Well,
in
it's
there.
close.
will stay
Prices
there.
prices
Can
just
still
are
be
gonna
used,
go
or
up.
it can be saved for something
Yeah,
later.
You're in the military, you go over one budget item, you're going to jail. You don't transfer.
They could decide
They
that.
could decide.
you know, let's still do that.
Should we start doing that here, Mike?
You're just not
I think we should.
contributing to jail. Either budgeted and not used.
I'd report you guys.
Okay.
It's gonna go down until it's probably.
It just sits there and draws interest until they use it, until it's gone.
So 56,000. Split between the two.
I'm doing something, so I have 55,500.
Yeah, 56, like I said. Easy.
Close.
It's easier to round it up than to make sure that,
You wanna round it up, or do you want it? what do you-
really, can we actually say that anything is gonna?
No, so
Go
I'm just
down.
asking if you
Add
want.
500 to one line item and call it 56. I think.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Are we ready for a motion on that? I'd be happy. Okay, I would move that the 2026 emergency services building budget is 56,000 as discussed.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to place the 2026 emergency services building budget at $56,000. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Number 8, discuss and consider the 2026 fire department budget.
Did you, this is. the
Oh,
new
yes,
one that
there's
Nick
Oh, that's the new one?
sent. Yeah,
Oh,
and I also did post that on that one.
Is that, so the
I think I have.
online package is
Thank you.
reflective of,
Yeah, if you click on the link on the agenda,
I looked at it, but I'd rather have a paper copy.
it should say today's date on top of it. And,
What have we not talked about on here?
Basically, the personnel pay.
Well, we talked about it,
Well-
about that. That would be something new, yeah.
Yeah, everything else was pretty much the same, other than the personnel.
Yeah, there's a few changes here or there, and I have my explanation sheet is one of the attachments on there too. Few changes. I'll just go through the easiest way is to just run through the explanation sheet. So the apparatus, I increased that, because we don't know what our actual repair is gonna be because we haven't had our annual maintenances done yet. So depending on what they find, there may be some bigger items that have to be fixed next year, so we put some contingency in there because of that. Turnout gear, we have a few new members that haven't gotten new gear yet, and we're also gonna be replacing all the helmets, because they all kind of got into their 10-year life, exceeded their life expectancy, so we're gonna do that. Just of the insurance premiums, because they're expected to go up again, we increased the values of the trucks to reflect the realistic replacement value. Before, the trucks were set pretty low, right around 200,000 to 150,000 per truck, but if we ever had something happen where the truck was a total loss, that wouldn't even cover a fraction of a truck now. So working with Kim and the insurance people this last year, we set them more realistically to what we paid for them and closer to what replacement value would be on them. So premiums are probably going to go up a little bit on that. Officer pay, we increased that because some officers weren't getting paid and changed it so now all the officers are going to get paid, and then some positions do a lot of work, a lot more than some of the other positions, so we're going to adjust the pay accordingly for the officers. Paper call was the big one that we talked about in length. First due, that's our record keeping thing. They increase their prices a little bit every year, so that's what they're figuring it'll be. Annual physicals, we added that last year to meet the upcoming expected code changes. That's going to be a required thing going forward. But we also added this year, well, I guess we added, that's the next line item, we added annual drug testing. We thought that was included in the last year, but it wasn't. So we're going to do an annual drug test while they do their annual physicals. MDT CAD licensing, that's every year that's in there, but I think it's going to go up a little bit because we had some changes. And then fire hose testing, we were in a 3-year agreement that ended, so we're starting a new 3-year agreement. So price went up a little bit. So that's the start of the new agreement.
So the big one is just to pay.
Correct.
98,800, more than last year.
58.
No, I'm talking about the total,
Oh, yeah.
96,800.
Yeah, between the officer pay and the paper call, yeah, it went up quite a bit.
So using my rounding up method, it'd be 100,000.
Yeah.
You don't have to round it up to 100,000.
Yeah.
You
get there?
Well, we basically approved the pay thing already.
We did.
Yep,
So I mean, it's,
we're set there.
there's no taking away from anything else, obviously.
One thing I want to just mention, next month's meeting, it was my mistake that I didn't get it on this one. I would like to have everybody start thinking about, because I'm going to bring it up next month, and I want to have a serious discussion about some major increases in the fire inspection fees that we charge between the town and the village. And so that'll be an agenda item for next month.
Which we don't charge anything now, right?
Well, not much. That
Do we
don't-
charge?
Yeah, it's minuscule that you guys.
No, we don't
We
charge.
don't charge the businesses at all.
No,
Municipalities pay the volunteers $15 per inspection.
That's what I meant.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, I would say that the fire department needs to think about, I mean, it'll have to be based on what our actual cost is. So the fire department will need to think
Actually,
about.
I don't think so, Kim, because of the fact that my building does not require $1,500 of
It might, because your fire department that's inspecting you probably has paid staff, or they are contracting for it. And that's a lot bigger an expense. And so I think the fire department needs to tell us, like, what do they have that they need to have for fire inspections? iPad, software, what are we paying for? So that you can inspect on top of that $15, because that's obviously minimal, but we're gonna need to know, what are we buying every year so that we can do fire inspections, and that we can justify, I think. But I don't know that we can justify any
We can
much else.
justify labor.
Not if we don't, not unless we pay for it.
One of the
Well,
reasons,
yeah, we
I
pay
just-
for it, yeah.
one of the reasons you're being billed that is because they have paid staff that are out there.
Some
They have to
departments
pay
do
to
it.
do
this-
the fire
this-
inspections. So like they have a paid fire inspector, they have a paid fire chief, and so they're justifying charging you that so that they can pay that person to go out there and do those fire inspections.
Because with these charges, you can only charge to cover your costs. You can't, it's not a profit center. You can't make more income, but I mean, we do have costs. I'm sure there are some, and we could probably figure out what they are, but we can't just pull a number or out of the sky
Well, I
and
think,
say,
yeah, I think that should
Right.
be in your, your,
Right now,
what
you're
you're gonna do
using
next
your,
month, if they can figure out what it would maybe,
right now you're using your 2% dues to pay the fire inspectors. So I don't know,
yeah, that too.
you already have a fund to use to pay for fire inspection services that's given to you from the state of Wisconsin.
At 2%.
So the last meeting, we had a conversation and I thought, we had a conversation where Steve kind of directed me to work with the department next year to come up with a charging system for commercial, for inspections based off of square footage. Again, evaluating what our cost would be to do it. I think there's a lot of indirect cost, associated overhead and equipment that's not being factored into the charges. I do think we can come up with a system about how long it approximately takes to do a square footage building. I do think it's drastically undercharged. So that was what I took from the last meeting. I won't have that for next meeting, but it's still on my list of things that I'm working on.
No, and I, just like I said, I just don't want this to die.
Yep.
That's my only thing. And,
Part of the problem too is the way that
I'm sorry.
part of the issue that we have too is that the way that the fire department is organized is we're a
Nonprofit.
We're a
91,
nonprofit.
So
So we can't charge to the point where we're making profit because we're a nonprofit organization, so
I guess
we can
another
offset our costs.
question I have would be, would the intent of it to be then to hire a full-time fire inspector?
It'd be a way to offset that cost, because ideally we drop our 2% dues to only be used for equipment from a village perspective.
So if you were gonna start billing for fire inspections, would the ultimate goal then to hire a fire inspector?
or a half-time guy or
So
something,
you could, or girl, so you could,
No, wait,
so you could use those fees to pay for a fire inspector?
sure.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I mean, like I said,
Another
there's,
tool in the tool belt.
there's lots to talk about. and-
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then another question is, are you gonna be actually sending bills, or will it be special assessed, special
That's
charge?
a good point.
We would just do it through this tax bill process. I would,
Yeah. But it's gonna be,
That would be the
but
cleanest,
it's
wouldn't it?
gonna be different for
Assessed on
every,
your
so.
property
yeah.
tax or
Oh,
whatever.
okay, that assessment, right.
Because if a fire inspector is inspecting a place that takes, a whole day or multiple
we,
days, visits, right? I think they should be fairly compensated for that work.
I think you guys gotta be getting to the point where it's hard to do with the personnel that you have, with some of the size of some of the commercial.
So we did propose it in the 2027 or 2028 budget to hire a full-time fire inspector. So we've kind of got a strategic
It
plan.
was in the 2027 budget.
We've planned it out and we've provided it to all of you for future planning. I think we've got a 5-year plan, so it was in 2027 or 2028
To hire a full-time inspector.
to have a full-time fire inspector and a full-time fire chief. So we've kind of given you an outlay of what those costs and expenses would be.
Mhm.
So I know that both Cam and Kim have that, and I believe that the other board members have kind of been given that projected cost.
So you do have a plan for the future.
Can't guarantee it's right.
But it's a plan.
I got you there.
It's a plan.
Okay, so we want to approve this or what?
Need a motion.
Total operating budget, motion to approve $325,525 for the budget for 2006,
Second. 26.
26. Get me all screwed up.
Sorry, Mike.
There's a motion and a second to approve the 2026 Cottage Grove Volunteer Fire Department budget at $325,525. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Is that including the capital?
Does it, what?
Does that include the capital items, or are they separate?
No,
No,
separate.
no.
That's,
Now we go on to the capital items. Item, we did it, right?
2026 proposed capital items.
Where's my sheet?
So just the thermal imaging cameras for this year.
Let's go.
Any questions on the capital request?
For these replacing 3 existing.
Yeah, that's correct. So a couple years ago, we did 3 on the frontline trucks. And then the older ones got moved to some of the backline trucks. And now this would replace the older ones that are on the backline truck. So they're all up to the newer standard.
Current standards.
Yep.
I would make a motion to approve the 2026 capital items.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve the 2026 capital budget items, the thermal imaging cameras. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right. We're finally at number 9.
We are.
October 27th is the 4th Monday, and the village board has our village budget workshop that night.
Okay,
And our budget workshop is on the 28th.
what does the 29th look like for you guys?
I'll be traveling on a flight, but I could ask my alternate too.
How did we get the budget workshop on a standing
Yeah.
meeting?
You don't want to be there past midnight to add that to a normal meeting, so. I mean, that's why, and that follows kind of the preceding the public hearing. All the noticing requirements.
Midnight, you get paid.
Or do
Fee.
you want to do the 21st, the third Tuesday?
That's Diwali.
The who's he?
Whatever Diwali is, probably some African holiday.
That's your steak night.
Yeah, preferably not a Tuesday.
Is it? Okay, no,
Yeah.
that won't work.
The emergency government is on the 22nd, right? Third Wednesday?
Third,
And
fourth,
plan, yeah.
fourth
Fourth
Wednesday.
You're good.
22nd, I'm unavailable.
I could just ask my alternate, we have an alternate, I could ask. She's available on the 29th.
I don't know that they're, yeah.
Or the town board could move their budget meeting to the same night as the villages. Maybe, I don't know what their rest of availability is though. Rest of the board.
Well, I mean, that's why we moved it to the 28th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's because
So,
of the fire.
because of the fire commissioner.
How come the
Well-
village should do it on the 20th?
I mean, Mike, I mean, we could potentially change this at our next board meeting. Would you be available for budget on the 27th? Because you'd be here for a meeting anyway.
What day I would be?
October 27th, which is the
Oh.
fourth Monday,
The
which
27th.
normally would have been our
For
fire meeting, but
Emergency
we
government,
have
yeah.
that for our budget meeting.
Oh.
Like the villages, and then we could theoretically move,
We could always
the-
move the emergency.
No,
move the
you
fire
could
meeting.
swap. I mean, you could do the
Yeah, we can.
27th. Since you're not having a fire meeting, you could do your budget meeting that night, assuming that your other two board members could.
Just put it on the agenda for the 6th.
6th.
Board. Ask the rest of
So
the
Oh,
board.
oh, oh.
we'll have our budget figured out. We can just, won't have a meeting. That's all. It's not like we're gonna have a big emergency right now.
Well, maybe you could say that if the town can swing the 27th and you guys are, can move their meeting, then you guys could all swing the 28th. You know, it would be the 28th or the 29th, one of those dates. If you guys are available, you're not on the 29th.
Right, but I can ask the alternate to.
But you said the 28th, Kim.
The 28th, the town is having their budget meeting, but we did that because there was a fire meeting on,
So we can change ours if it's okay with the other two board
But
members.
you don't want to have it on
But
Tuesday.
I,
If we're not, if we're gonna do it on a Tuesday, can we do it earlier? Like,
Tuesday too. Well, then, do it.
But
it is kind of nice having on different days, so EMS and fire can go to both budget meetings. Just to put that out there. I mean, obviously it's your choice, but
True.
I don't know if it's mission critical to have a fire meeting next month. It could possibly skip a month if there's anything critical.
October, skip October.
Well, the 29th,
Well,
the
whatever.
hall is
I
open
mean-
on the 29th.
What's that?
Works. The hall is open on the 29th. if that helps
29th?
at all.
So we've solved our budget, right? Maybe we don't need a meeting.
You need a budget meeting.
Why?
Oh, here.
no,
The
She
town
was-
board.
The
Oh,
jo-
town
joint
board,
fire
yeah, but
meeting,
I'm
you're
talking
saying,
about fire.
Can we skip a joint fire meeting?
okay, who's available on the 29th?
I can do it.
I am.
Yeah, what-
I'm not sure yet.
What day is that?
Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday,
That's our,
fifth Wednesday, sorry.
oh, the fifth Wednesday. Okay, we're the fourth Wednesday for emergency government, so
Fifth
Yeah.
Wednesday.
sounds reasonable.
You still going?
Yeah, that's, yeah, I'll be on a flight like right at this.
Oh,
the
okay.
time
Can't
of
you
the
do
meeting.
it, can't you do a Zoom call?
Zoom call on the flight, I can find the internet. package.
By the internet.
Well, we just never get
I can try
everybody
to
all
be
the time.
available, or I can ask our alternate
Yeah.
to be available.
And I'm not certain, I might be out of state that week. I don't know yet.
The whole week of the 27th?
No, the 29th. Well, actually, I might be. There's this possibility.
Did you call in?
Who's your second alternative?
Or
Put on the
Halloween
line.
Eve?
No,
The 30th?
Halloween Eve,
The
the
30th?
30th?
that's our alternate budget meeting if we need to, and there's also scouts in the room that night.
Oh, scouts,
No, actually, there's not.
okay.
Because I already voted them for this. But that is our alternate night if we need a second
Okay,
budget meeting.
Money.
you probably just skip the October one.
Nothing but
I mean,
trouble.
you covered all the big stuff.
Yeah,
And the chiefs are gonna have to go to their respective municipal meetings anyway, which means you wouldn't be ready to solve it until November.
well, you guys don't have your party. You don't want to be screwing around with meetings at the same time, obviously. since you took our meeting away from us, you know, American Legion, dirty buggers. We're just gonna plan that for next year, every year, when you're gonna have your meeting, so we don't have to go
So
through it anymore.
Steve, what would be on the agenda that we couldn't defer till November?
I don't know that there would be, you know, I would just, I guess part of me would always like to have a day available just because.
Especially this time of year, I get it.
So what night did we figure out?
The
Not the
29th, we could
29th,
have quorum, but.
Yeah, I don't have an answer yet.
Okay,
When
Sorry.
will you, or could you,
Not
not needing to pressure you?
yeah, I know.
Nick,
Maybe the
yours
first
the
week of
21st or
October.
28th for your,
Ours is on the
But
21st.
they have training every Tuesday, so they want to stay away
Right,
from
well,
Tuesdays.
if we did have one, it
If
probably.
we have to do one on a Tuesday, try to stay away from the 21st, but if we had to do the 28th, if we could start earlier, like 5, that would make it easier,
5.
if that works for everybody else.
It's not
Yeah.
great,
It's
but
right
I
before
could make it
your-
work.
Sure.
Budget meeting, if
That
that's.
is the Tom's budget meeting, but I guess if you did it at
Well,
5,
we were talking about flipping.
or if you did it at 5, you'd be done with probably by 6:30 when the board meets.
Well, we have a general idea when. If there's something pressing, how about if I send out an email and say,
Yes.
Okay.
be there and
Good
be
idea.
square kind of
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
That
We get
sounds
an
fair.
idea. How's that sound?
Sometime in the 27th, the week of.
Sometime in 2025.
All right,
The week of October 27th.
Reserve that.
no action.
Yeah, I like
That's the
that.
first time I've ever done that on a discuss and consider a meeting date.
Well done, Steve.
Well done. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second for adjournment, no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
You started the interview?
No, no.